Observability has never been better, yet the job is not getting any easier. Systems are continually getting more and more complex. There's just more to look at and consider, and it makes it harder to make those critical connections to find a root cause, especially when you're on call. For example, 2 weeks ago, my team was paged for high Kafka lag. We pull up the dashboard, and sure enough, you see a big spike in latency. Now, I'm digging through half a dozen dashboards for services that my team owns and services my team doesn't even own to find a correlation. It's a huge mental tax. But if we can bring in context to your environment, like Theo was talking about, and with AI, we can make those connections for you and quickly to help reduce that cognitive load. We first started solving this problem with our Bits AI chatbot. You could ask it questions about the health of your system and pull telemetry to help find a root cause. And it was great. But we quickly realized that agents were the next revolution for AI and observability because it allowed us to go from reactively answering questions to proactively collaborating with you. And that's why I'm excited to talk about Bits AI SRE, your 24/7 on-call engineer. So when your monitor triggers, Bits will proactively launch an investigation, look across your entire Datadog environment for signal, and then find the root cause in minutes. Using Bits is like having an engineer join your team who's already familiar with your system and is on call 24/7. But enough talk, let's see it in action. Let me show you how Bits can solve an alert from start to finish. So from the moment you're paged, Bits jumps right into action. This time, we were paged because an endpoint on our Flight Query API is experiencing high latency. Bits will start its investigation by gathering context about the alert from your Datadog environment, your runbooks, and from previous investigations, all in under a minute. And, like you or me, Bits is pulling telemetry from your dashboards, metrics, logs, traces, and more. All right, now check this out. This is the really cool part. Based on its initial findings, Bits will create a variety of hypotheses to what could be causing the problem and then verify each one concurrently. With our latency issue, Bits is considering if the problem is caused by query timeouts, a faulty change deployed to the endpoint code, slowness in a downstream service, or a spike in query traffic. Bits will then evaluate each hypothesis using your telemetry to determine if it found the root cause, needs to dig deeper, or move on. For example, take a look at this branch. Here, Bits hypothesized that the latency was due to query timeouts. Why? Because of high DB load. Why? Because of increased request traffic. So, unlike other agents, Bits is not a black box. You can follow Bits' reasoning every step of the way. Bits will then continue to drill down until it finds the root cause. And in our case, Bits determined that the latency was due to query timeouts from that branch we looked at. And right there shows you the power of the hypothesis tree. Bits is able to simultaneously investigate multiple chains of reasoning in minutes. You get a thorough investigation every time. And every step of the way, you can dive in and see all the evidence and reasoning that went behind it. You can also teach Bits to remember useful research steps and correct ones that weren't, so it's continuously learning. And, just like a teammate, you can ask Bits questions about its investigation or get help taking action. For example, here, I'm asking who owns the flight database, so I can page that team in and get their help. Bits will also keep you up to date by posting its high-confidence findings back to Slack or ticketing tool of your choice. So there you have it, Bits AI SRE, a fully autonomous AI agent that's able to help you troubleshoot and resolve your production issues 24/7, so your engineers can focus on what's important. I also want to give you a preview of what's up next for Bits. First, we're having Bits find deeper root causes by expanding the monitors and telemetry it's going to look at. Next, we're going to start to correlate insights from across investigations to help answer that question of why you're getting paged week after week for the same thing. And then finally, we're going to start to close the loop by helping remediate issues by recommending code fixes and to run workflows. Now, before I go, I really want to highlight some of those best practices that Theo was mentioning earlier that'll help you optimize your environment, not only for Bits, but just for an AI in general. Firstly, you're going to want to make sure your entire stack is instrumented. Next, you want to make sure that you're consistently tagging your services and telemetry and that you're standardizing your tags across your entire organization, because fuzzy mappings lead to fuzzy results. And then finally, you're going to want to optimize your monitors for investigations by including useful telemetry for the agent to look at, and providing guiding instructions to the agent, just like you would any other teammate. So now that you've seen all that Bits can do, you can use this QR code to add Bits to your team today.